This is a quick tutorial on how to draw system schemas and free body diagrams. What we're going to use is a calculus book, and what you have is an initial setting here, a calculus book sitting on a counter. The first step for this is we're going to list all of the objects that are involved in the system. We have, of course, the book in the system, the table, Earth. We'll go ahead and add a few extra things like the chapel, the classroom floor, and a teacher in the classroom. We'll take these and we'll rearrange them so we get an idea of how to draw a system schema. I like to spread mine out a little bit and put circles around them so I can actually identify what's happening. The next step in the system schema is to draw arrows in between objects which have interactions. For example, I know that Earth interacts with all of them. We've discussed in class that Earth is an interaction with another body that draws it towards the center. For example, the classroom floor is pulled towards the Earth by the Earth. We can identify the forces or the interactions with some names. Here in the green, interaction between the calculus book and Earth is gravitation. Likewise, gravitation between Earth and the classroom floor. We can continue this pattern by showing arrows showing interactions and giving names to those types of interactions. Here are just a few, not all are mentioned, but we want to see that things like the classroom floor does have an interaction with the table. As you can see, we put our label next to the interaction direction. The next step in our system schema is to recognize what is the object we are trying to identify or describe. In this case, we are describing the calculus book. I like to draw a dotted line around it and notice that there are interactions that cross over the dotted line, for example, gravitation between Earth and the calculus book, and a normal between the table and calculus book. To make the diagram a little bit simpler, I like to get rid of the rest of these things and just focus on those objects which are interacting with the calculus book. We'll go on to naming these interactions. The green one is the non-contact gravitational force the Earth exerts on the calculus book. And the purple one is the contact normal force the table exerts on the calculus book. We can shorten these names just a bit by using subscripts. The subscripts have everything we need in it. The F signifies that we are dealing with a force, and that is the interaction that we're describing between the two objects. The type of interaction, G, is the gravitation, and the objects in reference are E for Earth and B for book. The same will hold true for the purple. That would read the normal force by the table exerted on the book. We can simplify this a little bit more by going into the idea of drawing a force diagram. Another name for a force diagram is a free body diagram, often symbolized with FBD. We can just start by drawing a dot, and that dot represents the calculus book. And from that dot, we are going to extend arrows or vectors that show the direction and magnitude of the force that's interacting with the calculus book. In this case, we know the gravitational force acts downwards. Likewise, we'll use the purple to represent the normal force, which is acting perpendicular to the surface, which is supporting the calculus book. To finalize this, we may want to look at this in the pictorial again to see that the normal force by the table exerted on the book is upwards, and the gravitational force exerted by the Earth is down on the book.